Hi everyone, and welcome back to my Perfume Chronicles. It's great to have you here with me today for this new video. But before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss anything new. Okay, back to today's episode. Way before Coco Chanel, and I mean centuries before, there was Catherine de Medici. Our story today shines a light on her key role in history that made perfume unequivocally French. When a Renaissance princess from Florence married the King of France, she didn't just cross borders. She carried something far more powerful than jewels or silk. She carried perfume, a scent that would change the French court forever and leave a legacy that still touches the perfume bottles that we wear today. Catherine de Medici was born right in the middle of the Renaissance period in 1519. The Medici family was a powerful Italian banking dynasty that ruled Florence and Tuscany for centuries, becoming synonymous with the Renaissance by funding art, culture, politics, producing popes, and of course, queens like Catherine de Medici. The Renaissance was a transformative European period from the 14th to the 17th centuries, marking a rebirth after the Middle Ages. This was a time when art, science, and medicine shared rooms and bottles alike. At the heart of this world stood Santa Maria Novella in Florence. Founded by Dominican monks in the 13th century, it was part monastery, part apothecary. Herbs were distilled not to seduce, but to heal. Rosewater for fevers, citrus for vitality, lavender to steady the spirit. At this point in history, perfume was considered knowledge, protection, and ritual. And Catherine learned at a very early age that what you smell like shapes how you are perceived. At the very young age of 14, she was sent to marry Prince Henry, who would become the future King Henry II of France. She arrived young, foreign, underestimated, but most of all, very observant. At this time in history, France did not smell like Versailles. It smelled more like damp stone, smoke, sweat, animals, and a palpable fear of disease. Bathing was rare because people didn't trust water. Perfume existed, but it was heavy, crude, and inconsistent. Catherine didn't complain, however. Instead, she brought refinement with her from Italy, quietly and deliberately. And what was her secret weapon? René le Florentin, a Florentine perfumer and alchemist. Together, they introduced alcohol-based liquid perfumes to the French court. Think perfumed gloves, scented hand fans, fragrance leather. In this way, perfume became armor. If you smelled exquisite, you were powerful. If you smelled powerful, you were listened to and had influence. And slowly, almost invisibly, France changed. What makes this story extraordinary is that it's not locked in the past. Santa Maria Novella still exists today. You can literally walk into the historic store in Florence, just steps from the grand basilica of the same name. When I was in Florence a couple of years ago, we wanted to visit the store, and as we walked across the piazza to the basilica, we could see a very long line. People were waiting for hours to get into this historic apothecary, and I could understand why. It feels like stepping into a Renaissance laboratory where time politely stopped. Wooden cabinets, frescoed walls, quiet monastic calm, the most beautiful floral display in the windows. It's definitely on our list for the next trip to Florence. And there was one fragrance created in 1533 for Catherine's marriage that's still available today. Acqua della Regina, known as the Queen's Water. This is Santa Maria Novella's oldest fragrance. It's fresh and citrusy, with Calabrian bergamot, orange blossom, neroli, lavender, cloves, and patchouli. It's light, airy, and smells like clean luxury. This perfume was carried by Catherine de Medici all the way from Florence, across the Alps, and into the New Kingdom where she would become queen. If you'd like to know what this historic fragrance smells like, you could purchase it from Santa Maria Novella, but having smelled it myself when I was in Italy, I'd say there are a few modern fragrances available today that remind me of it, such as Guerlain's Neroli Bianca from their Acqua Allegoria line, Tom Ford's Neroli Portofino, Goutal's Neroli, Jo Malone's Orange Blossom, and Acqua di Parma's Arancia di Capri. Without knowing, Catherine de Medici would spark a revolution in French perfume when she arrived with Acqua della Regina and her Italian perfumer. She's credited with popularizing perfume toiletries and cosmetics among the nobility and establishing Grasse as the perfume epicenter, which moved the heart of the European perfume industry from Italy to France. She's also recognized as the person who elevated fragrance from a mere masking agent to a symbol of luxury, status, and a sophisticated cultural practice. France's love affair with perfume didn't begin by accident. It began with Catherine de Medici, and it's been flourishing ever since. I guess you could say a young girl from Italy who became the Queen of France set something in motion, and centuries later, it's still in bloom. I hope you enjoyed this episode with a perfume history twist. Thanks for taking time out of your day to join me at My Perfume Chronicles. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss anything new. And until next time, take care of yourself.